Test, test. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna try to keep up with the season and do a video recording of everyone's photos. That way I can provide feedback unlike the last couple of seasons. So without further ado, I'm gonna start with Branch's images. And I'm gonna try to go kind of quickly through them so that it doesn't get boring. But anyway, let's see. Sorry. These first set of images look good, capturing more of like candid style, photojournalistic style. I love how you're capturing their shoes because that's a detail shot. Looks good. As a second shooter to Christian, it looks like it's good that you're getting different angles and whatnot, but it's also good to get a little bit tighter on the images because just to give it a little bit more variety. For example, this image right here, you can like really get in there and shoot like that, tighter. I'm always talking about like the whites in the images, like for example this and this. Any white that you capture in the image is a little bit distracting. That's where your eye tends to go first. So as a second shooter, you kind of have a little bit more time to really focus on your framing and just making sure that you get different angles than the primary shooter. So if I was a second shooter for this part of the day, I would go a little bit tighter, eliminating the whites on the side of the images. Maybe capture a lot tighter images, like for example, the groom's tie would be one. He's not wearing a boutonniere, so there's nothing to capture, but that's kind of just to give you an idea of what to capture for as a second shooter. Culling wise, this is a little bit much. If you can see like my red here, these are the images that did not make the cull on my end. Sometimes it becomes a little bit redundant, and I want to make sure that I'm only providing like not too many repeat images. So you'll see the red images are the ones that did not make it to the full wedding gallery. Moving on to the other part of the day, the groomsmen, it looks like. These are very much what I would imagine Christian had. This is awesome. It's good to get in there. Like I said, it's even maybe try next time to even really get closer and get a tighter shot. These types of images right here is what a primary shooter would be capturing. Again, this is a great opportunity to maybe get a little tighter on like the groomsmen. They're wearing bow ties right here, or featuring his tie in comparison to the groomsmen ties. Like this is your second shooter, so you have to kind of think like a second shooter and not have to worry about capturing the full shots. I mean, one is good, right? That's backing up your primary, but again, you have the option to get really tight on some images and capture details that they're not aware that you're capturing. I'm going to keep going. This is good. It looks like setting up for the first look. I'm gonna have to comment on these later once I see Christian's images. Again, don't be afraid to get a little bit tighter in terms of shots, but these are solid as far as like this is raw, so good job on controlling your exposure. So bridesmaids and bride and what do you call that? Whatever he is, man. I say man-made, but that doesn't make sense. But anyway, Um, this is good. Same comment as before in terms of, you know, being a secondary shooter, just maybe a little bit tighter and a couple images. Bridal portrait, again, you have the opportunity to capture her bouquet. So maybe get in there and just, you know, how do I make this crop? But anyway, you guys see the square. Get in there and actually get tighter shots of the detail shots of the bride. Bride and groom. So these are very similar to what a primary shooter would capture, except obviously a different angle. I see that based on the way they're looking, Christian is to your right. You have the opportunity to get in there once again and just really capture tight shots. Okay, this is a crop. This is a square crop, so obviously that's not going to work. But you kind of get an idea of, like, you know, maybe for this one, for example, you could just capture their lips. Oops, I can't do it with this thing. Their lips, perhaps. I don't know. Just thinking out loud of like ideas on what to capture and stuff. Good, candid, photojournalistic style. These Chicago images. I think Christian had the full thing with the Chicago in the background. This is good. Secondary. I mean, you know, it's very literal. So again, you have options to kind of shift to the left and the right, which you did right here, so that's good. Oh, we are an equal opportunity shooter, meaning it's very, see how there's this groomsman, which is actually one of our past grooms, so that was kind of funny. He was, let me peek to the next one. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images, and then this poor groomsman only had 1. We want to make sure that we shoot evenly and equally to all bridesmaids, or yeah, the bridesmaids and groomsmen. You want to shoot equally to all of them, and then I also, once you deliver it to me, I also pretty much only want to see 1 image, because I'm not going to deliver like 6 images of this groomsman right here, because it's, you know, not their day and whatnot. So I just, you know, whenever we shoot the individual shots or whatnot, you pretty much just want to capture 1. This is good to practice kind of, you know, different posing techniques or whatnot, but maybe do it with the groom in mind. Groom when you shoot them, not like the groomsmen and whatnot. So see the reds. I actually eliminated 4 out of the 6. So yeah. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images. I only kept 1. Same with, you know, you guys, you get the idea. So the groom, he only had 3, so I was like, well, what happened? Because, you know, everyone else had a lot, but then he didn't have as many. So we want to make sure that our feature is always the bride and the groom. Obviously, like culling wise, like I don't want the same exact image. Just keep 1 and send 1 in. Same goes for the bridesmaids. We want to make sure that, really, I only need like 1 traditional shot, which is like this, looking at the camera and holding the bouquet. Nothing too fancy. They just want to see what they look like, really. So save your shutters. If you think you got it, move on to the next bridesmaid. For me, I typically shoot just maybe 2 frames, and I'll know if it's in focus or whatever, just from based on experience. So move quickly, get your shots, and go on to the next bridesmaid. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you were able to capture all of them. These shots right here, I just want to comment, again, a great opportunity to really get in there and capture really tight shots. You could do that, you could do this, you could do these three, or whatever the combinations are. For images like this, like I usually do like one wide shot, and then after I get the one, I zoom in and just focus on like their expressions. Ceremony, details look awesome. Usually I just ask for one of these. One is fine. One smiling focused per session is good enough. For the little ones, I usually try to keep one or two because they're so cute and they have a lot of different expressions. Be careful of this. I know, I don't know which lens we're using here. The 50 it looks like. Just be careful of crops like this. If you don't have enough, I forgot to eliminate that in my call. But anyway, if you don't have room to capture all three or whatnot, just, don't shoot it because you had this one. Or go horizontal like you did here. You could eliminate that and not submit it in the call. These are great down the line, middle shots, exposure is great. This venue was a little bit tricky as far as like the light streaming in from the window, so I think you did a really good job. Get in there and go tighter, just the bride and groom perhaps get their reactions during the vow exchange and ring exchange. Ceremonies like these, when it is not at the church location, tend to go really quickly. So when I do when I shoot weddings like this, I kind of flank left, shoot the groom really quick, and then like literally run to the right side and shoot the bride really quick. So that's one of the things I didn't see. So just try to do that next time. And then recessional, again, ceremonies like these tend to go really fast, so you want to make sure that you're in position and ready to photograph. When it's something like this, I memorize my exposure setting, my camera setting. When I know I need to, get to the end of the aisle, for example, I already know what my exposure is because it's the same exposure as this one, pretty much. Plus or minus a little bit because of this whiteness. But generally you kind of know what setting this is, so if you do get caught and recessional starts happening, you know exactly the settings to go to. Flash is better. This is available light with flash is better just so you can capture their faces cleaner. Awesome shot of the guitarist. Love this. Love this. This is better. Too much headroom. Guest shots. Just send me one. I don't need two. So anything like that, I would eliminate the one. I kept this one, deleted this one. Not deleted, but you know what I mean. Didn't deliver. Oops. Good. Reception coverage. Cocktail coverage, I mean. Detail shots. Okay, these detail shots, they're good. I like how you used front light here. It's actually coming from the right side. I just pointed at my screen, guys. Sorry. Thinking that you would see it. But anyway, I like how the direction of light is coming from here and you used it. For room shots like this, it's good to shoot this way, maybe one to get an overview of the room, but I always take advantage of the light and the softness it provides. So I would have loved to see you go use the window light and shoot this way. Does that make sense? So use the window light, maybe, well, not this hot light, but stand here and shoot this way. Or even shoot the room this way. Like, I wish I could draw arrows this way. Detail shots, good. Use the light a little bit more, you know, eliminate these whites in your framing. Go a little tighter on this donut. You know, eliminate this white, even like that, or even angled a little bit more so some of it is focused and some of it is not focused and some of it is focused. Like this. See, this is much more appealing to the eye because there's nothing really white that's taking my eyes away from the actual detail shot, except for that little spot maybe. But this is much better than images like this. Eliminate this white. If you have to move stuff, move it. I would have like moved this here, and then obviously after you shoot it, move it back so they don't get mad. But I'm not afraid to move things at reception to get my shot. So please feel free to move things. As long as you can move it, don't like, you know, go crazy like moving a big ass cake because then it might topple over or whatever. Detail shots, okay. Flash would have been good to capture the bride and groom's image reactions. So it's a little bit cleaner. Good detail shots. Dance. Good. Framing wise, it's solid. Good. These are very good standard shots. Don't be afraid to zoom in on them a little bit tighter to get more intimate on the images. Usually, like once I know I have like 4 solid ones that are in like the same frames like this, I'll go in there and really like capture tight shots. And sometimes I'll go in there and shoot their hand, for example. Usually the groom is a little bit easier to capture in terms of his ring. And hold on, for example, oh shoot, they turned here. This is the closest one. Like capture this part, but you know, obviously when they're turned more. See, I love how you did this, how you changed up the framing with the groom's, the bride's dad. Good job. These are solid. Your dance pictures with the mom and the dad is good. Okay, so for like the dances like this, I try not to shoot towards the DJ because it looks bad. You also have to watch out with our flashes. I think these are Christian's off-camera flash. So it looks better when you shoot the other way, so that they're not always in our backgrounds. So please be careful of that. Ring shots. They look good. Way to incorporate cubbies. when stuff like this, like when we shoot stuff like this, it's very distracting. Like, submit images that have purpose, I guess, in the images. Like these two people right here is very distracting. Like I didn't even know what I was looking at, so I did not include it in the call. That's just like comes with more experience when you're calling through, and you know, we all shoot what we're shooting during the dancing part, but sometimes in the calling process you do notice images like this and you're just like, oh, well, why did I shoot that? So I'd rather you not include it in the call, so just, you know, look through the dancing part and see if there is a good reason for that particular shot. Makes sense? I love this ring shot. It was so cute. I actually want one of these things. It's so adorable. And for those that are not familiar with this cat coming out of the box, he actually moves in and out. And you're supposed to put like a quarter or like some coin up here where Fran will put the ring. So he actually steals the coin. So she actually had to time this every single time. So that's why you see like partially open on some of them and sometimes it's closed. So she actually had to time it. For next time, just avoid this. Maybe push it off to the side so you don't capture it in your frame, so that it's just the box. Is that their daughter? That's so cute. I'm not friends with them on social media, so I'm not sure if they have kids. Okay. I think this is one of the last shots. I think it was like more of like a group shot. If you cannot shoot the whole bridal part or the whole whatever, like I'd rather you not turn it in, or you know, save a shutter and don't even shoot it, or shoot really tight. Maybe someone is capturing making a funny face or whatever, but like this stuff and then this guy being cut off, this guy being cut off, I'd rather you not submit it to me because I that's like potential bride and groom complaining. You just cut my favorite uncle out of the picture. Is there another picture that you know the photographer caught? So just be careful of images like that. And with that, Francia, good job on your first wedding. Just think about, you know, the stuff that I talked about for your next wedding, and hopefully this audio thingy helped. Okay, thanks. Bye.